going to cover questions 58 through 67 of your UST annual inspection. What we're going to cover now is what we call the UDC, or under dispenser containment. We're going to look inside just like we did at the tank area. We're going to look for any liquid, debris, damage that is occurring to the actual dispenser containment sump. We're also going to look at entry points to make sure that those are in good condition. Any clamps that are supposed to be in place are in place. We're looking for any leaks. So anywhere inside this dispenser cabinet, if there's any leaks, you want to note that here and make sure that those are addressed. If there's any leaks, you want to put it off sale. Don't use it until the leaks are repaired. Specifically, when you're inside of a containment sump, you're also going to look for, this is called a shear valve. What this is for is that if the dispenser gets hit, it'll shut off a valve to prevent fuel flow from happening in a fire. Also, if there's a fire, there's a piece that'll melt. So you want all this to be in good condition as far as the manufacturer specifies. You also want it to be mounted securely. So you're going to look for all mounting hardware to be secure, everything to be attached, and no leaks happening. You're also going to look at the piping. Make sure there isn't any leaking in the piping or any of the connectors. They've placed the sump sensor inside of a fiberglass piece of pipe to keep it in an upright position and sitting at the bottom of the sump. Also, as far as under dispenser containment goes, the piping that's going inside also has to be installed properly. If you're using flexible connectors, which we don't have at this site, you want to make sure that any flexible piping is installed according to the manufacturer's specifications. No flexible piping should ever have an S-shaped bend, no more than one bend with a constant radius inside of any containment sump. You also want to make sure that the shear valve is operating properly. To test the shear valve, what you'll want to do is actually be pumping fuel either into a gas can or an automobile, and you want to trip the shear valve and make sure that it actually shuts the flow off wherever you're delivering the fuel, either into your gas can or your automobile. The way to do that is just by tripping this shear valve arm, this trip arm here. When you do that, it should shut off the flow. If it doesn't, you need to have the shear valve repaired. If your site does not use under dispenser containment sumps, you want to make sure that any product piping that's metal that contains fuel product is cathodically protected. When inspecting your under dispenser containment sump, one thing you need to make sure of is that the junction box is sealed and corrosion free. All you need to do is take a look, make sure that all bolts are in place, and any place where there's not an electrical conduit coming out, you want to make sure that it's plugged. So there's no openings and everything is sealed and no corrosion.